Welcome to Gathering at the Crossing, Cayuga, Indiana. This is a living history event pre-1816. My name is Jennifer Plum. I have Jardin de Plum. I am a frontier herbalist and apothecary. Here at Gathering at the Crossing, you have all types of artisans that are demonstrating crafts and skills that you would see pre-1816 in the Indiana territories. Here at my booth, what I have is herbs and teas and some potpourris and the tools of the trade. So I have bottles and mortar and pestles and things that you would need as an apothecary to treat people's ailments. So if you come inside with me, I'll show you around. Here's my herbs. So we have different herbs for different things. So as a frontier apothecary or herbalist, you would travel as far as you could, horseback or walking, to come to me and tell me what was wrong with you. And then I would sit down and either write you a prescription if you could read and write, or I would send it home with you so your parson could read it for you. And I would also teach you what the plant looks like in the wild if you needed to craft it later after you run out of the herbs that I would send you home with. So I would send you home with a packet of maybe dandelion leaf if you had issues with not being able to go to the restroom. If you're a lady who just gave birth and was having some problems, I would send you home with some raspberry leaf. If you have little babies that can't go to sleep, I would give you some dream tea, which has some chamomile and linden flower in it. Calendula, which is really good for your skin, and it's really good for your digestion. Blessed thistle, which is really good for everything. I always say take it with some honey because it tastes like, well, we have comfrey leaf if you're trying to, if you have a scratch or a scrape or a break, and you need it to heal and you need to bring the blood to the surface, we have comfrey leaf for that. We have mint, all kinds of spearmint and peppermint. If you eat too much, you have an upset stomach, spearmint and peppermint, that's what's good for you. I do potpourri as well because, you know, pre-1816, we didn't really take baths that often. So you would kind of smell a little. So we have some potpourri that you would use to maybe attract your next husband if you're a widowed lady. We have bottles, and I also have a mortar and pestle. Then I will show you how to grind your herbs, mix your herbs, and heal yourself. Here we are at Liberty Tree Baskets. Liberty Tree Baskets are basket weaving in the style that you would see in the frontier, using split ash reed or split willow reed. Baskets it's all about math and all about learning what's divided by 2 on either side of the basket to make your patterns. You have a nice large chevron basket pattern down here. That would be a baby basket. So your child, you would put your baby in the basket and the baby would be next to you during, you know, anything that you needed to do. Your apple basket could be, you know, grandma's apple basket could be this size, or your grandma's apple basket could have a handle. So every basket is different, and every basket is handmade in the style of pre-1816.
So I am demonstrating soap making and explaining how way back when on the frontier you couldn't just run to Walmart to grab a bar of soap. You actually had to make not just the soap yourself, but you had to make some of the ingredients yourself. So on the frontier, soap making was generally once a year, and it was done at butchering time. It was not done at butchering time because you had fresh lard to use. It was done at butchering time because you needed to clean out your crocks from all of the lard you had saved after you cooked in it for the past year. You would actually clean that lard by putting it in a kettle with some water, bring it to a boil, and then pull the heat out from under it. any leftover pieces of chicken skin, rabbit, squirrel, whatever it was you cooked in there would settle to the bottom. Then you'd have the water that you put in, and the top would be used lard that you turned into soap. They would have cooked their soap out on the frontier, put it in a big kettle, add their lye, cook and stir. And if you measured everything correctly when you were finished, the only thing that will be left will be soap.
Piece of the deer, some rabbits. There's a coyote up there and a goat.
And you catch these?
The goat I just got tired of being butted with and decided to become dinner. And the coyote, yeah, I did catch it out of Geist. All the rabbits, they're really good with white wine and mashed potatoes.
I would think so.
But the foxes and stuff like that, I just get them for the pelts.
Well,
They're kind of a nuisance animal around here. They're like the coyotes. They're like dime a dozen. They're just a big, big nuisance. And there's no bag limit on them. When you hunt them, you can hunt as many as you want.
You all know what a recurve is. What is a recurve? Did you know that Native Americans had compound bow?
No, I didn't.
Yes. Wow. Compound bow. Very correct. Shoots further than a recurve. It's got a lot of power. I don't keep it strong because you never keep a bow strong. I make all my I make everything that's here. I wanted to make sure trying to make sure I didn't. The heads of the axes I bought, but I made the axe. There's two types of arrows that I make. This is the easiest to get, but the hardest to make. This is cedar shafts. Okay? The problem with cedar shafts is you have to keep heating them, steaming them, and keep working them so that they stay straight. Because if they got a curve in it, you're not going to hit what you're aiming at. So it takes a lot of work to get a good shaft out of cedar. See this strap? That's all wampum shell beads. Okay? The coho shells, you know, they're broken up and rubbed till they're round and then a hole drilled into them to make beads. My last time I went to try and purchase some, a strand about that big was $25. Bigger than the beads. And then look at that strap. I keep saying, take the gun, leave the strap. I got more money in the strap than I have in the gun, especially since I made it.
So this is knitting, but this is Continental Knitting, which is also called picking, because I pick the yarn and I just have it holding in one hand. So a purl 2, so I'm doing ribbing because these are slippers to go inside my wooden shoes. So knit 2, 1, 2, purl 2, 1, 2, and this is European style, continental style knitting, picking the yarn instead of throwing the yarn from your other hand. This is the style that you would have seen most Europeans and Germans use on the continent, and this is the style that would have started, you would have seen over here in the New World.